So we've got the Ride Concepts TNT versus the reigning champion, the 510 Impact. So that's the standard Impact, Impact Low, they call it. Same as the Impact Sam Hill edition, I'm assuming. Ride Concepts have been building some shoes and trying to break into the market, I guess, and make some waves and compete with the big guys. As most people know, Adidas have taken over 510, and it seems to be really, really hard to get them now, especially here in Australia. None of the shops really have them anymore. They've got leftovers. They've got a couple of this and a couple of sizes of that, but you can't order them in. It's not cool. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, Adidas, you got to lift your game if you want to sell some shoes, some 510s. Anyway, this is about the Ride Concepts. So I got them a couple of days ago. I wore them all day yesterday. I wore them around, walking around, went to the shops, did my whole day in them, breaking them in, getting them ready. So we got this hexagonal shape on the ground, and then I did a 40-minute climb up Mount Lofty and rode down Ewok, the Bullock track, nice and narrow, and Twisted Gum, hoping to kind of bet them in and get a good idea of how they feel. First impressions, extremely comfortable. They're the most comfortable shoes I've worn to ride in. They're more comfortable than any other shoes. It's a good fit. I got a UK 10, so US 11, size 11, and they just feel excellent. There's good amount of room in the front. The toe protection's killer. It's really strong. It's a little narrower overall than the 510. So if you look at them, if we put these two suckers side by side, you can see it's ever so slightly narrower, which is good. They feel a little bit more nimble. Like I feel more nimble when I'm wearing them. The 510s tend to weigh me down a little bit if I'm walking around in them. These are almost 2 years old. They'll be 2 years old in March or April. And this is the only 510 they make that the sole lasts the amount of abuse that I give them. So this sole still looks good after nearly 2 years of abuse. So April 18 I got these, I'm pretty sure. Killer shoes. Absolute killer shoes. But they're trashed. They're ripped. They've had a hard life, so I needed some freshies. I looked at the North Waves and the Shimano's, and I looked at everything and the Ride Concepts, and I figured, yep, I'm going to go the TNT. So they do this, they've got a couple of different rubber compounds. So they got the 6.0, which isn't very grippy, and then they got this 4.0, which is apparently their grippiest. So got that, figured, yep, that'll be cool. That should be able to compete with the Stealth on the 510. And the first run, it was just slippery as hell. They weren't settling in at all. Turns out I had the bike set up a bit stiff, so that wasn't helping. Once I got the bike dialed in and got the suspension set up well, the last run, so the fourth run on it, was Twisted Gum last night. And I know there's a break-in period and whatever, but you know how a shoe's gonna feel by its first impression generally. And the break-in isn't night and day, it's just maybe 10-15% better, maybe 20% better. Even down Twisted Gum all the way to the end, just slippery. And then this morning riding around, I took the dog for a run, and they're just slippery. They don't grip. The grip's not great. Like I said, the comfort's unreal, but they're just really not. I'm not into the grip at all. I like everything else about this shoe. Everything else. It's got a little tab under here. I don't know if you can see that with the light, but yeah, little tab to tuck your shoelaces in. You've got the Velcro strap, keep everything tidy and nipped up. Really well designed, but the rubber, Ride Concepts, your rubber is just not up to standard. It's nowhere near. So like I said, these Impacts are nearly 2 years old, and this sole it's just well superior to the grip that I'm getting off of these. So I'm going to give them another couple of rides, see if they can bed in a little bit more and see how they go. But initial impressions are definitely not for any sort of hard charging. I think shoes like this is why people go back to clip pedals or go to clip pedals, because you really don't feel safe. I didn't feel like I mentioned it in my video down Twisted Gum. It feels like as soon as you start charging, you kind of settle into a position, and as soon as you hit something rough or chattery, your feet move, or you have to put way too much effort into holding your feet in a position. So you might as well have I'd rather have 510s and poor pedals than really good pedals and these Ride Concepts. So it's a shame, and I don't like to rag on stuff, but the grip, it's just not there. The rubber, the compound is just not there yet. It's, as far as I know, they're working on a better rubber compound, but so far I just spent 210. I think I got these on special for $210, and I can't throw $210 at a shoe that is not going to hold me on the pedals. So not super happy with that. You know what? They're not terrible. They're not terrible. Like I said, they're the most comfortable shoes I've had. But the grip, I'm used to the impacts now. They're probably more in tune, in line with maybe the old Freerider VXI. That shoe didn't really have a lot of grip either. I reckon it feels similar to the Freerider VXI. Now the standard Freerider is killer. It's very similar to the Impact. But these, it's just too, I don't know if it's too firm a rubber, like it doesn't penetrate at all. It feels good to pedal in. They feel great to pedal in. They feel great to ride in everywhere except for going downhill. So if you're just, cross country or cruising around, they're excellent shoes. For comfort, they're phenomenal. But the grip's not there, so I can't recommend them. I can't stand by them. Hopefully Ride Concepts gets better. The grip gets better, the compounds get better. They don't need to improve their comfort and their build of the shoe whatsoever. This is phenomenal. It feels killer to wear. It feels natural. It feels light underfoot, even though they're, I think, nearly 500 grams a shoe, so similar to the Impact. But the grip's not there. So sorry, guys. Sorry, the guys at Ride Concepts. I know you guys are all shredders. But yeah, you've got a long way to go with this rubber. The king still reigns supreme.